Hey everybody, I'm here today again with my GH5S, and I have 3 autofocus features I'll talk about today and explain what they mean and how they work and all that jazz, and why my 12 to 60 videos suck so much. 45 to 150 videos also suck. Probably they all suck, really. We can get into that and I can show you why. Hey, if you have any questions or comments and want to help me learn something about you or my subject that I'm trying to show you, give me any comments, any helpful conversation that will make things go far and distribute the more equal delivery of problems today. Now that made sense. That guy that you just saw doing that, he doesn't know what he's doing or talking about. Give him a break, will you? Give him a like, a subscribe, and just pound it with your fist. Just like start hitting those like buttons like one after the other and start just get those like buttons. I love like buttons. So my previous videos, my 12 to 60 millimeter videos, I'm gonna start with that. One commenter pointed out, and very rightly so, that the focus isn't really changing. It was like changing ever so slightly in my defense, but not very much if you look. There were some focal changes, but that's because the aperture was too big. I had an aperture from somewhere between 5.6 and 8, which is too big really with these lenses to be testing the true autofocus. So today I have some ND filters, but I don't think I need it in this place so much in my studio. I'm going to use lower lighting than it would be outside, so I can have the aperture stop down to 4 on my 45 to 150. My 12 to 60 lens is pooched. I'm going to have to get a new one. There was a problem with that you might have heard me mention in my previous videos. I tried to fix it myself, and one of the wires, one of those thin little ribbon cables tore ever so slightly, and it just, I can't fix it. And I was gonna try to order another lens and try to fix it using one of those ribbon cables, but then I realized that would entail me taking more of it apart because the ribbon goes way down inside. Man, I don't really care though. I tried fixing it. It was kind of fun actually, and I spent a while, I learned a thing or two about how these things are built. And I thought that was really cool because I did get it together successfully. It's just the one little torn wire. Other than that, it would have worked fine. Yeah! But anyway, yeah, too much in focus, not enough changing focus on my 12 to 60 video or my 45 to 160. I think there was a little, like you could see the focus shifting more on the Sigma. I was able to stop that down a little further, I think, because I had it in the shade or something like that day. So anyway, I'll show you how that looks anyway better using different autofocus methods. So anyway, there's AFF and there's AFS on your cameras. They also have continuous autofocus, so there might be an AFC as well. There's a little switch on the back and it says AFC or AFS, AFF. So if you're taking photos and stuff and you have a static image, or even with video, if you have a subject that isn't moving very much or is moving parallel to the camera, to your line of sight, is moving like across, so the focal distance isn't going to change much. It's going to change maybe slightly. But if you have very small aperture, more things are going to be in focus anyway, like I've proved inadvertently on those videos that I was talking about. And so what I'm trying to say is the autofocus AFS is for, AFS means single, autofocus single. Autofocus single. AFF means autofocus flexible. So AFF is for when your subject might be moving, probably in a more predictable pattern, because I'll get into that in a second. AFF flexible, autofocus flexible, I mean, is just for your subject moving, and you kind of have an idea where they're going to move. They might kind of step a little closer to the camera. Right now I have this in AFF. It has eye detection turned on. Sparkles. And it can track me relatively simply. As you can see, my background is not completely in focus. And it's not really having much of a problem. It's maybe a little slow. I think a lot of people are having problems with their autofocus. Like there's a little bit of hunting there. But most of the main hunting is going to be when you have it in the AFC, the continuous autofocus, because this is where you get into the predictability, the unpredictability, I should say. The autofocus won't work so well when it's unpredictable. This is where Sony and a lot of Canon, especially their new cameras, really start to shine, is because their autofocus can track you really well, even in really unpredictable moments. And this is Panasonic's big failure, apparently. But I'm finding that just leaving that off seems to work pretty well. If you leave the continuous autofocus off and just leave it on AFF, for video especially, I would say, more than photo. But I mean, even with photos, it's better to have AFF. If you know that your subject is gonna move, tracking works better with the photo. The other thing about this is, the more information with this contrast-based autofocus detection system, the better. So if you're using a 1080 60p or a 4K 60p recording method, I'm having a hard time talking today. What is it with this? It's almost like there's something in some kind of, a little bit of stupidity in the air that I'm breathing in or something. But I'm sure I have a lot of that anyway. But I mean, if you got everything going on, if you know like where your subject is roughly heading and everything, like yourself vlogging for instance, as long as you don't have like a whole bunch of commotion going on in the background, then I don't think your autofocus is going to be struggling too much. Most of the phasing, like jumping in and out, is from the predictability algorithm or something, I don't know. From the lens, like the depth of focus, is it DFD or something? Depth of focus, I can't remember. It seems kind of silly, the whole thing. I think Camera Conspiracies has a great video about it where he's making fun of it, and he has this kind of like thing where he's going back and forth with himself. He's over here, he's over here, he's over here. Hey Gary, how you doing about that Panasonic thing that I told you to do? Oh, shut up Frank, you're fired. Stroking his hair, why? But I'm so pretty. And he does stuff like that. It's kind of funny actually. I got really into Camera Conspiracies videos and still like him, but I digress. Sorry, Jay's 2 cents, but I love that. Another guy I love, Jay 2 cents. Can't stop talking about my favorite YouTubers and now my lips all itchy. It's gonna take a moment. So, we were talking about AFS, AFF, and AFC. Autofocus single, autofocus flexible, and autofocus continuous. Continuous autofocus. They like to put that one backwards, because really it should be CAF, if my English-speaking language skills are correct. Yeah, definitely the AFF is the way to go if you have a Lumix camera and you don't want it to be hunting too much and you want it to be kind of keeping on you. I don't know how good it is with speed, like if I move too fast in and out, it seems to be doing pretty good. See, there's not much hunting going on. I don't see any freaking hunting, do you? I still haven't upgraded my firmware yet. Let's try to get a little closer. Oh, what are you doing? Are you hunting? It's not finding me. Why aren't you finding me? Probably because it only sees a mouth. Oh, it almost had me there. See that? Look at that. Like I see that hunting. It's going. Everybody can see the nice patterning around my eyes. That's from the tribe I belong to called the Alien Skin Zone Freaks. Actually, that's because I've been wearing sunglasses all the freaking time. So it's made my eyes slightly yellow around them for some reason, because I wear them all the time. Give it a second to focus. Look at that hunting right there on the thing. It goes back and forth until it finds the shot, until it finds the focus point or something. Just a quick back and forth thing. It's like, hey, what's going on, man? Where's the focus? There's some reason it doesn't do that as much on me, like with the eye detect or something. Is that why? Maybe it is and I just couldn't see it on the screen. Sorry I'm not looking at you, lovelies. I have to look at my screen to see what the hell's going on. I don't understand what's going on, do you? Do you understand what's going on? I'm not talking to the lens, I'm talking to you. Inside here. But anyway, that's what it's like with the 12 to 60. I mean, sorry, 12 to 60 just destroyed! I destroyed it! So anyway, this is what it's like with the 45 to 150. We could try going out on a more of a zoom too, see if that makes any difference. Let's give that a shot. Yeah, I mean, you get like a different focal length now. I mean, a different aperture. My aperture is at 5.6. That's the widest aperture this thing goes to. So I gotta step back and see if it can find me. How you doing there, autofocus? What are you saying? Oh, there you are. Nice. Took a, couple seconds. I wasn't counting. Let's try that again. Maybe I should put that on something. Let's turn that towards that painting over here. Let it focus on the painting. And I'll stick my head right up into the shot. Did it do it? I'll have to wait till I get on the computer. I'm going half blind, so we'll have to see. Wah! Focus. Wah! Focus. Am I too close? Is it like having a problem just because of my eyes? No, there you go. That took a second, it kind of went in and out a little. But now it's staying there. And that's the thing too, you can lock it once you get your focus. Or you know what? You could just turn the dang autofocus thing right off. You can use manual when you have autofocus too. A lot of people just like to use the manual when they can select your subject, focus on it, and then it locks it. And generally when you're vlogging, you're keeping it at a certain length the whole time. So I don't see why that wouldn't work if you're a vlogger, especially if you're using two cameras, because you could keep one focused on an area that you're showing. If you're unboxing and you got something like out at a certain distance that you want to show people, but you want to also see your face in focus, then, well, why not just freaking, put your aperture way up and quit screwing around? Like, I mean, you don't have to have everything out of focus when you're doing an unboxing video. If you got like a box of crap in front of you, you're right like that much, that tiny bit of, like, this is hard to do with this 45 millimeters on this GH5S. But if you have that much, like just this much space to work with, how come you're so much out, like throwing everything out of focus that much that you can't see the thing that you're unboxing? You know what I'm saying? I think you're using the wrong kind of camera or wrong kind of lens or wrong aperture or something if you're doing that kind of shit, because you should just see everything in focus. Everything should be in focus, probably. It'd be a lot easier. And then get those nice shots, like for B-roll and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You can get some nice wide, bigger aperture shots with more things blurred out with your nice creamy, chewy bokeh. And then everybody's, everybody wins. I don't know what's wrong with all these people. Why even bother hooking up my Sigma or anything? Everybody knows how that's gonna turn out. That's a faster lens anyway. I mean, this thing's like they're smaller, like zoom, that's practically like a kit lens type thing. Well, it was like almost 600 Canadian, but I mean, that's like peanuts in the States. It's probably like 20 bucks. So, I've explained what the autofocus features do. The other thing that I should explain is the metering. You should keep it in the center average metering instead of the spot. Like, there are times, I guess, that you may want to put it in your spot metering, but generally, center average metering is much better. I guess that mainly only goes for the photo, but I'm not sure how this autofocus detection Yeah, detection, I'm having a stroke. Yeah, the autofocus detection detects my brain stroking, and then it works by pulsing in and out of the brain. That's right. I got cats coming at me everywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna put it on the AFS just so you can see what that's like. Stop this right now. I'll stop this right now. So right here we have it on the AFS instead of the AFF. So remember, the AFF was the flexible one. That's the one where you could move around and it would kind of track. As long as you have the continuous tracking turned on in the menu, then it would track you. So you have two choices on your Lumix switch, like on your GH5 or GH5S. I'm not sure how all the cameras operate there, but you should have pretty much all the same choices on all your Lumix cameras. And that is AFS or AFF or AFC. Right now, I have it on the AFS, AFF switch with it on AFS inside the menu with autofocus continuous turned on in the menu as well. And we can try turning off the autofocus continue as well. I have a feeling that would go pretty badly though. But right now, this is just finding this is supposed to be for a subject that's static. And it seems to be working somewhat okay. I think there's more hunting going on than the other one, than the AFF and the flexible. It's not finding me as fast, it's not keeping me as much. But when it does find it, it seems to be okay. I probably won't jump around as much, you know. Let's try to move my camera back slightly. Yes, I have it on a cheap dolly made by Manfrotto. My Manfrotto. My shoes, my dang shoes are in the way. I have a dolly, my dolly. So over here, how's it doing? How's it doing? Is it doing good? It's doing all right. Ooh, look at that, it's so dramatic. It's drama. I just found out that Frank is dead and he ate my pile of horse meat. That's probably why he died. My pile of horse meat was bad. You should have told Frank not to eat the horse meat, but he wouldn't listen. So I don't think the AFS is very good. It's not as good as the AFF. Let's put it in the AFC. See what happens. Continuous autofocus mode is turned on. Is there much of a difference? Honestly, I think the AFF was better. I really do. Once it finds you, it finds you. As long as you're not like jumping in and out of the screen too much. This one doesn't seem too bad. Like it's better than the AFS. The AFF and the continuous was better. But it's all working okay. It's all okay, it's just not great, you know, and that's what people want. They want great. People want the best. They don't want the you know, the averagest, the most okayest. Well, that one's pretty okay. I'll take it. Nah, it's okay. I like it, it's okay. But I mean, the autofocus is okay for me because I'm not like, you know, I'm just screwing around, checking things out for people who may or may not be interested in this kind of, and learning about this kind of stuff. But I don't know, like on the kind of films and stuff that I want to make, I'm not going to be using autofocus whatsoever. He's crazy. He just doesn't really care about autofocus. He wants to put it in manual. So stay tuned for the next video that I have coming up, where I will show you how I'm going to use my Canon 18-200 lens on my GH5S with a K&F Concept Micro Four Thirds adapt, like a EOS S to Micro Four Thirds adapter. And it has no lens element inside. It's just a straight, it's straight plug in, baby. Straight smack dab right in there without any freaking, without any hand smacking crap going on in there. There's like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. There's just all kinds of nothingness to it, but it's beautiful. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it, but we'll check it out. So if you have any questions or comments or want to make fun of me or anything like that, leave that down below and we can talk further, we can have fun, we can shave goats or whatever it is you're into. I don't want to shave goats, so please don't get me to shave goats. So we're gonna leave it right here in f4. It's been in f4 the whole dang time, unless I zoomed out, in which case it was in f5.6. So that's the aperture range on this particular lens. I thought it was 3.4. I could have sworn it was 3.4, but I guess I read it wrong because it says it's 4. It says 4 to 5.6. So I'm an idiot. Keep it clean, by the way. And the dang, keep it clean everywhere, not just the comment section. Keep it clean. I'll be watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I think I already mentioned that. Give it a like, subscribe, hit that smashing notification bell where you start throwing things at it or something like that.
And we'll see you next time because I love you.